back to the Morning Edition. Let's say hello and good morning again to Ami Kaufman, who joins us daily to discuss the news we've missed while scanning the headlines.
Good morning again. Glad to be back.
Yeah, glad to have you back.
Okay, let's start with Israel. Israel got another German-made submarine yesterday. Submarine yesterday came into the port of Haifa. It's the fifth submarine of the Dolphin series.
Some really cool pictures came from that.
Really cool pictures. All the top military and political top brass, was there to greet this submarine. It's, according to foreign reports, these submarines have a nuclear capability. Of course, Israeli media does not mention that, but that will give them that second strike capability that Israel is so longing for. Jerusalem Post also says some interesting stuff, that this is one of the most expensive weapons ever purchased by the country. The INS Rahav, this one, together with the INS Tanin, which was the fourth Dolphin sub that was delivered in 2012, and together with the sixth one that is still being built, come together to a total cost of 1.4 billion euros.
Wow.
And the German government is reportedly covering a third of that cost. So very interesting stuff.
And a hefty bill.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Off to Syria. Let's talk a little about Syria. Some interesting stuff coming. This is a headline from Al Arabiya. Syria army fully captures rebel redoubt in Latakia. So I think we can see that that Russian backing is definitely helping. We're hearing more and more stories and headlines very similar to this, that Assad backed forces are gaining ground in certain areas with the help of the Russian Air Force.
Well, they have more eyes and ears, certainly.
Definitely.
Now, helping them out.
Speaking about Russia, we're continuing with Syria. This is a headline from The Guardian. Putin hints that Russia could grant asylum to Assad. Now, as we know, Russia is a backer of Assad and the Assad regime, but it is not totally opposed to seeing Assad go. It just wants Assad to go in a certain way. Russia is pushing for elections to happen, and if Assad loses that vote, Putin has kind of hinted that he might be taking Assad into Russia for asylum. He also mentioned that it would be easier for him than it was taking in Snowden. He says it was surely Edward Snowden, the whistleblower. It was surely more difficult to grant Snowden asylum in Russia than it would be in the case of Assad. That's what President Vladimir Putin said yesterday.
It would be it's more difficult to grant Snowden asylum.
Yeah, it was
really?
more. Yeah.
Wow.
It's harder for him to hold Snowden than it will be to give asylum to what most people I think around the world see as a mass butcher and a perpetrator of genocide.
Wow.
That's Putin. Speaking, we've been talking a lot about Medea and that town just outside, about an hour from Damascus, where we're seeing pictures of emaciated people suffering from starvation. New York Times editorial yesterday is very critical of Syria, of course, and the Assad regime, and also of how the West is responding to this. Let's just see one quote. Using food as a weapon violates international law, and the United States, Europe, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and Iran, which all have influence with different proxy groups in Syria, have a responsibility to ensure that civilians have unconditional access to basic supplies.
Well, I think international media really helped in that situation.
Definitely. Yes. Those pictures, I think, and of course we heard that reports that the Syrian regime is letting convoys of aid come in over the weekend, but it's probably not going to be enough. It'll last them, I think, 2 or 3 weeks.
Too little too late. I mean, at least 23 people died of starvation in Medea.
In Medea alone, right?
Yep.
And there are other towns that are besieged in probably similar circumstances that we don't fully know about yet.
Very scary.
Off to the other side of the pond, I guess you could say, Mexico and the United States, where we're talking about El Chapo.
Oh, he's back.
The drug lord that was captured again. There's a new video that the Mexican government released yesterday that's showing that daring early morning raid on his hideout in Sinaloa, Mexico. It looks like it coming out from a movie, but we have a report about it. Let's check it out.
Okay.
They came in ready for a fight, but what the Mexican Marines got looked and sounded more like war. El Chapo Guzman's bodyguards fighting to the death, blasting away. The Mexican Marines wearing body cameras returning fire, lobbing stun grenades. Everywhere signs of that fierce gunfight.
Look at the size of the holes that they made.
But no sign of El Chapo. The Mexican government had been hot on El Chapo's heels since his secret meeting with Sean Penn and actress Kate Del Castillo last October. El Chapo wanted them to make a biopic about them.
Del Castillo y el señor Sean Penn.
Turns out the meeting was being documented, but by Mexican intelligence. photographing their every move. The pictures obtained by the newspaper El Universal showing Penn and Del Castillo arriving before heading out for El Chapo's jungle hideout in one of his planes. Sean Penn out breaking his silence on that controversial Rolling Stone interview, telling the Associated Press Monday via email, "I've got nothing to hide." This morning, the magazine releasing on its website the full 17-minute video El Chapo sent Penn. And this morning, ABC News getting a first look inside El Chapo's safe house.
One of the things that they apparently like to watch, Queen of the South, Del Castillo's show. The narcos liked watching shows about narcos.
Inside El Chapo's bedroom, the mirror concealing his hidden escape route, leading to a tunnel.
Where it is very dank, very wet. We're going to go down this passageway, which is flooded.
I had to crawl under that
To get over there.
Right there is that door. It looks like a portal on the submarine, and through there is the entrance to the drainage system. That was supposed to take him to freedom.
It's a movie. It's just a movie
Totally.
in real life.
And then
It's
you
just
tie
amazing.
in Sean Penn, and it's like, what? It's
I
just,
want to ask you a question.
what's going on?
Is Sean Penn going to play Sean Penn in the movie that's
I
going to come
hope
out?
so.
Will he
I
play
sure
himself?
Hope so. Yeah, he should.
I think he should.
Kind of a
I think-
National Geographic style.
Yeah, exactly.
show
or documentary,
something.
mockumentary. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Amazing
Interesting
stuff.
Yeah. It really does play out. We were just talking about that reporter going through water. That's commitment.
All of his
man.
reports.
Yeah.
are he goes for it.
He goes
all out for it.
all the way.
There's a tunnel, he'll go down.
Kudos to him. We'll see you a bit later on, Ami, but thank you for
Yes.
this press review.